Mr. Sanjay Kedia, office bearers of the Insurance Brokers Association of India, my fellow CEOs from the insurance industry, friends from the broking fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here today for the 15th Insurance Brokers Annual Summit. In fact, I didn't know that you had it for the last 15 years, probably because we were involved in the last few years only. We have been seeing this. I think after IRDA chairman speaks, it is very difficult for anybody else to speak anything because he covers the entire gamut of topics in his speech. So I just want to share some thoughts with you as chairman of GIC. In fact, just some stray thoughts which come to my mind. So Indian insurance sector is the 15th largest insurance sector in the world. And I think we are very proud that we are gaining in stature of the Indian insurance industry. It may not be long before we are in the top 10 insurance markets of the world. So the main thing here is that the role of brokers in the insurance sector here. I think I must compliment the Insurance Brokers Association of India for this annual summit. This is a great service to the entire brokers section that you are doing here, especially bringing out all these booklets. You are able to give the policy holders a view of how the insurance companies are actually doing. And mostly, more than anything, more than everything, I think the thing which caught my attention was that you have taken initiatives for an insurance awareness campaign. And I think we are on the right track when it comes to that. Probably, as Chairman also had mentioned earlier, the penetration levels being one of the lowest in the world, what is expected of the brokers and of the insurance companies per se is to increase the penetration levels. And I think creating awareness is the first step towards that. In fact, like we said, the broker is the only channel who deals with the customer per se. So you are the first face to the customer, and there starts your role. Here I think we should also see that as part of a larger ecosystem of insurance, broking has a big role, and we cannot forget the government focus on insurance penetration. In fact, the two largest insurance schemes to hit the Indian market, the Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana and the Bharat Ayushman scheme. The world has been watching these schemes. And as in GIC, we are very proud to be associated with the schemes. And here I would like to say the role the brokers have played in these schemes, especially the Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana. We have been attending many meetings of the government. And one thing which I wanted to bring to your notice was that at every meeting, the government has tried to say that the role of brokers in the schemes, the Fasal Bima Yojana, the Joint Secretary did indeed mention that if any country should lead the technology in crop insurance scheme, it will be India. And I think the brokers have played a very good role there. We are talking of giving assistance for crop cutting. We are talking of assistance in engaging drones. So we have seen a very big change in the market as far as technology is concerned for the Prime Minister's Fasal Bima Yojana. So the role, other than increasing awareness among the public and the penetration levels, the other thing was basically, like Sir said, to make insurance a pull product from a push product. And there also, you will have to talk about the value of insurance. I think still people are ignorant of insurance. And you're talking of a country where you have a 20% gap, protection gap, the gap between insured losses and economic losses in the country. We have seen it in the case of the Kerala floods, the recent case, where you had a 90% protection gap. Only 10% of the insured losses were actually, the economic losses were actually covered. So I think this is the role that you all have to play. And I also wanted to highlight that the biggest role you will play is raising the image of the insurance industry and the broking community in the international world. Because we just concluded the India rendezvous now. We had over 700 delegates who attended the conference, the reinsurance conference, and we had almost 200 and odd delegates from outside of India. How do they view the Indian insurance market? How do they view the broking fraternity? That is of very utmost importance to us, because we are in a field where people pride on the expertise they build. And in a country like India, I have often heard people say that we don't have enough expertise. And I think that is the core area where we all have to focus on. How do we build expertise? Like sir was saying that in a few fields, we do have some brokers here who have experts in many fields, but across the entire spectrum, we need to have that. So we have to invest in people and training. If you see many of the big brokers which we deal with in GIC, many of the brokers, they invest a lot in training the cedent companies, their business partners, and that is because they have built expertise over the years. And the value add from the brokers when we deal with them is huge. What we see in GIC, enormous value add is there. We are talking of CAT modeling facilitation. We are talking of training in pricing. We are talking of actuarial support. So many fields they have advanced. And I think it is high time that Indian market also moves in that direction. And GIC, I think, has been playing a big role in changing the perception of brokers in the Indian market. Like you say, when you talk of brokers, many a times, whether it is in the government side or in the public, it is seen as a needless expense. I mean, that is what we have come across. But that is where we have also, GIC, have told that in many forums that it won't be long before India moves to a totally broker-driven market. So that is the role of brokers we expect. How you get people to insure, how you get people to know about the various products, and the value add you can give both customers and insurance companies in this regard. So the topic was actually championing the evolving needs of policy holders. In a lighter vein, we're talking of very soft market conditions, and I was really wondering whether we are wanting to champion the need of policy holders further, or we are thinking of leveraging solutions for the policy holders. And I think this is where technology will play a big, big role. And I think if any country should take the lead in technology, it should be India. We are a tech-savvy nation, and we have seen blockchain technology. We are talking of artificial intelligence. I think we are in a much, much advanced stage as compared to many other countries in the world. And I think the broker fraternity has to take it forward. You are the ones who can bring the insurance companies together to make it possible. And we are also talking of ERM tools for managing basically the corporate clients which we see in the market. So that is where the brokers also will be playing a big, big role. Just to summarize my thoughts, I think that the role that you are playing in the market is commendable. We need to extrapolate this role to include many other areas. We are talking of innovation playing a big role in the market, new risks coming into the market. So when we deal with brokers, mainly what we see is that they talk about bringing expertise into the Indian market. We're talking of new risks. But I think in the Indian market, Indian brokers themselves should take the lead of bringing new products into the market. We're talking of cyber risks, we're talking of new, whether it's solar risks or climate change risks or whatever new products, you can play a very big role. And I think over the years, the role, the value which you have given to the insurance companies and to GIC, especially to GIC, I want to place on record the appreciation of all the work we have seen from the brokers. Though we are present in 5 countries, we work from 160 countries. And I think the main media has been only through brokers which we see the business. And I'm very optimistic about the future of insurance in the Indian market, more optimistic about the future of broking in the insurance market. And I wish everybody a very bright future. I hope you have very meaningful and fruitful discussions throughout the day. I know a very interesting panel discussion is coming up, and I think we will gain very many insights into this. Thank you, one and all.